Welcome back to the channel. For those who've followed our journey, you already know gemstones are more than just treasures of beauty. Some of them shine with hidden risks, risks that can harm health, destroy investments, or even ignite wars. In today's documentary, we reveal the top 10 gemstones with dangers most people never see. From stones that release toxic dust, to gems that fracture the moment they drink water, to diamonds that finance civil wars, their glow hides stories of fragility, poison, and political conflict. Each stone has its allure, but also its price beyond money. At the very top of this list is a gemstone that looks flawless, yet carries the weight of bloodshed and international scandal. Which one is it? Stay with us. We'll uncover every step until we reach the most dangerous gem of all. Before we begin, if this is your first time here, we invite you to subscribe, like, and share this video. For us, that simple act is more than a number. It is truly the best gift you can give, allowing us to keep producing in-depth documentaries that bring hidden history and science to light. Now, let's explore the 10 gemstones whose brilliance is shadowed by risk and discover what makes them beautiful but dangerous. Top 10. Cinnabar, the poisonous red gem of Mercury. Cinnabar has fascinated civilizations for thousands of years. Its color is striking, an intense crimson, darker than ruby, glowing with a depth that once made it sacred to kings, shamans, and alchemists. Unlike transparent jewels, cinnabar is usually opaque, forming in massive clusters or vein-like patterns within host rocks. When polished, it reveals a silky surface of vivid red, a shade so powerful that it was once ground into pigment for imperial palaces and tomb murals. In terms of value, cinnabar is not among the world's most expensive gemstones. Small carvings or beads can be found for a few $100s, while larger specimens or rare crystals command thousands. At mineral auctions, exceptional museum-quality pieces have been sold for over $10,000. Yet this stone's true price cannot be measured in money. It lies in the health risks it carries. Cinnabar is mercury sulfide, the chief ore of Mercury. When cut, heated, or even slowly degraded, it can release toxic mercury vapors and dust. Prolonged exposure may damage the nervous system, impair breathing, and in ancient workshops, it often shortened the lives of artisans who shaped it. In Rome, cinnabar mines in Almaden were notorious for harsh conditions and early deaths. In China, emperors once sought cinnabar elixirs of immortality, but many died from mercury poisoning instead. The stone's crimson glow hid a silent danger. Why does cinnabar belong on this list of gemstones with hidden risks? Because it exemplifies how beauty can be inseparable from toxicity. While diamonds and sapphires symbolize permanence, cinnabar reminds us that some colors come with a cost. Its red hue was once the symbol of power and life, yet handling it carelessly could lead to decline and death. Even modern collectors must store it carefully, avoiding skin contact and keeping it away from heat or sunlight. For archaeologists, cinnabar is a double-edged artifact. It is found in royal tombs, painted on ritual objects, carved into amulets, proof of its cultural power. But each discovery also documents the risks ancient societies accepted for its beauty. And here's a question for you. If you had the chance to own a gem of dazzling color, but one that carried real risks to health, would you keep it or pass it by? Leave your thoughts in the comments. This debate isn't just about minerals. It's about the value we place on beauty when it comes with hidden danger. Cinnabar holds the 10th place in our ranking. Not because it is the most expensive, but because it teaches one of the clearest lessons. Sometimes, the glow of a gemstone comes with a shadow. Top 9. Malachite, the beautiful green stone. That can make you sick, malachite has captivated human eyes since antiquity. Its color is unmistakable. Bands of vibrant green, swirling in concentric circles, or striped patterns that look like painted brushstrokes across polished stone. No two pieces are alike. Cut into slabs, beads, or cabochons, malachite reveals layers of light and dark emerald tones, a natural design so striking that it was used to decorate palaces, churches, and jewelry for millennia. On the market, malachite is considered semi-precious. Small carvings, beads, or polished spheres can cost just a few dollars. High-quality cabochons for jewelry range from $50 to $200, while museum-grade specimens with intricate banding and flawless polish can fetch several $1,000s. Historically, Russia's Winter Palace and the grand columns of St. Isaac's Cathedral in St. Petersburg were adorned with tons of malachite, proof of its cultural prestige. But beauty hides a risk. Malachite is a copper carbonate hydroxide mineral. When carved, ground, or inhaled as dust, it can release toxic copper particles. For lapidary workers, prolonged exposure to malachite dust may cause respiratory illness, liver and kidney damage, or even neurological issues. Ancient artisans did not know this danger. Many spent lifetimes polishing malachite into ornaments, unaware that every breath carried fine copper dust into their lungs. Even today, collectors are warned to avoid cutting or sanding malachite without protective gear. Why is malachite ranked among gemstones with hidden risks? Because it demonstrates how appearance can deceive. Its green tones symbolize life and fertility in many cultures, yet the very element that gives it color, copper, can make it dangerous when mishandled. Unlike harder stones such as sapphire or diamond, malachite is soft and easily broken, releasing powder that poses health hazards. What seems safe on a necklace can become hazardous in a workshop. For archaeologists, malachite also tells the story of early metallurgy. Ancient Egyptians smelted malachite to extract copper, and the same stone was carved into amulets buried with the dead. It was both resource and symbol, bridging the gap between art and technology. But its toxic risks remind us that not every gem was harmless in its use. And here's a question for you. If you knew a gemstone was beautiful, but could release toxins when cut or worn down, would you still wear it as jewelry or avoid it entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments. This isn't just about malachite. It's about the choices we make when beauty and health collide. Malachite takes the 9th place in our ranking. Affordable, admired, and widely collected, but always carrying a warning. Sometimes the most captivating colors come with consequences. Top 8. Asbestos gems. The deadly fibers. Inside tiger's eye and serpentine. Some of the world's most popular decorative stones conceal a hidden danger. Asbestos fibers. Tiger's eye, with its shimmering golden-brown bands, and serpentine, with its mottled green and yellow hues, are admired across jewelry markets. Tiger's eye shows a chatoyant effect, where light moves like a cat's eye across polished surfaces. Serpentine, meanwhile, often resembles jade, carved into beads, seals, and ornaments for thousands of years. On the market, these stones are relatively affordable. A small tiger's eye pendant might cost $20, while larger carved serpentine statues can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on craftsmanship and provenance. Their widespread availability makes them accessible to collectors worldwide. But what most buyers do not realize is that both stones can contain asbestos fibers, a mineral once widely used in construction, later banned in many countries for its link to cancer and lung disease. When polished and sealed, tiger's eye and serpentine are generally safe to handle. Their beauty can be appreciated in jewelry or decorative items without immediate risk. The problem arises during cutting, grinding, or breaking. Disturbing the stone can release microscopic asbestos fibers into the air. Inhaled over time, these fibers lodge in the lungs, potentially leading to asbestosis or mesothelioma, diseases known to appear decades after exposure. For miners and artisans who worked with these stones without protection, the risks were far greater than for the end consumer. Why are asbestos gems placed in this ranking? Because they illustrate how even stones prized for their color and affordability can carry hidden dangers not visible to the eye. Their shimmering golden light or jade-like green appearance masks fibers that science has identified as lethal. Unlike cinnabar or malachite, which are chemically toxic, asbestos gems are mechanically dangerous. The threat comes from breathing what cannot be seen. Archaeologists and historians note that serpentine was used in ritual carvings in China and Mesoamerica, while tiger's eye became fashionable in Europe during the 19th century. In both cases, their beauty was celebrated, while the risks remained unknown. Only modern science uncovered the invisible hazard inside their structure. And here's a question for you. If a stone is safe to wear, but dangerous to cut, should it still be sold freely on the market? Or should there be warnings for buyers and collectors? Share your opinion in the comments. This debate isn't only about geology, it's about how society balances beauty, commerce, and public health. Ranked number 8, asbestos gems remind us that not all dangers are visible. Beneath the golden shimmer of tiger's eye and the green luster of serpentine lies a risk that can outlast lifetimes. Top 7. Torbernite, the radioactive emerald of collectors. At first glance, Torbernite looks like a gemstone from a fantasy tale. Its crystals are a luminous green, arranged in square plates that shimmer like stacked emerald tiles. Under light, they glow with an almost unnatural intensity, a green so vivid it seems alive. For mineral collectors, this uranium-bearing phosphate is mesmerizing. Some describe it as the most beautiful green crystal they have ever seen. On the market, Torbernite is not commonly sold as jewelry. Its softness and instability make it unsuitable for wear. Instead, it appears in mineral shows and collectors' cabinets. Prices range from $50 for small specimens to over $1,000 for larger, well-formed crystals. But here is the catch. Its value comes with a warning label. Torbernite is radioactive. Containing uranium, it slowly releases radon gas and radiation. Handled casually or stored improperly, it can pose long-term health risks to collectors. The danger is subtle. Holding a piece briefly is unlikely to cause harm, but prolonged exposure, keeping it in unventilated spaces, or inhaling its dust can increase the risk of radiation-related illness. Museums that preserve Torbernite specimens often store them in sealed cases with ventilation systems, not only to protect visitors, but also to prevent gradual deterioration of the crystal itself. Why does Torbernite rank among gemstones with hidden risks? Because it teaches an uncomfortable truth. Not all beauty is safe. Its emerald green color and geometric patterns rival any precious gem, but its atomic structure makes it hazardous. Unlike Malachite or Cinnabar, where the danger comes from handling dust, Torbernite's threat is invisible, radiation that cannot be seen, tasted, or smelled. For archaeologists and historians, Torbernite is a reminder of the blurred line between mineralogy and gemology. Though rarely cut for adornment, it has appeared in collections for centuries, admired for its color long before the dangers of radiation were fully understood. Today, its presence sparks debate about whether such specimens should remain in private hands or only in controlled scientific institutions. And here's a question for you. If you had the chance to own a crystal as dazzling as emerald, but knew it carried radiation, would you keep it in your collection or leave it behind? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters, because the story of stones like Torbernite is not just about science. It's about how we choose between beauty and safety. Ranked number 7, Torbernite is a gemstone-like mineral that seduces the eye and challenges our judgment. Its emerald glow is breathtaking, but its hidden power reminds us that nature's most vivid treasures can carry risks we are only beginning to understand. Top 6. Opal, the colourful gem that drinks water and breaks apart. Opal is one of the most mesmerizing gemstones ever discovered. Its surface shimmers with shifting colours. Flashes of green, red, blue, and violet ripple across its body, a phenomenon known as play of colour. No two opals are identical. Some display fiery red against black backgrounds, while others glow like stained glass under sunlight. The most prized black opals from Lightning Ridge in Australia can sell for tens of thousands of dollars per carat. Even more affordable white or crystal opals, ranging from Ethiopia to Mexico, can still fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on the vibrancy of their color. But opal is not without risk. Unlike diamonds or sapphires, it is fragile. With a hardness of only 5.5 to 6.5 on the Mohs scale, opals scratch easily, and more importantly, they contain water. Many opals are up to 20% water by weight, and hydrophane opals from Ethiopia are especially porous. They can literally drink water when exposed, changing color, becoming transparent, or swelling. When they dry again, they may crack, craze, or lose their play of color entirely. Collectors who pay high prices sometimes watch their investment fracture within months. Why does opal belong on this list of gemstones with hidden risks? Because its beauty is unstable. What appears as a permanent rainbow can, under the wrong conditions, vanish. A sudden change in humidity, exposure to heat, or even being stored in a dry safe can cause irreversible damage. Unlike harder gems, opal demands constant care. Avoid ultrasonic cleaners, avoid sudden temperature shifts, and sometimes even store them in moist cotton to prevent drying. For archaeologists, opal has long symbolized mystery. Ancient Romans admired it as a gem of hope, while in the Middle Ages it was feared as a stone of misfortune, perhaps because its fragile nature caused it to break unexpectedly. Modern gemologists confirmed that the risk was real all along. Opal is as unpredictable as it is enchanting. And here's a question for you. Would you invest thousands of dollars in a gemstone knowing it could crack or lose its color in a single year? Share your opinion in the comments. This is a debate that divides jewelers and collectors alike. Is opal a treasure worth the risk or a gamble too unstable to trust? Ranked number 6, opal earns its place for being as fragile as it is dazzling. A rainbow locked in stone, but one that can fade, fracture, or break apart, reminding us that some of nature's most colorful gems carry risks as vivid as their beauty. Top 5. Fluorite, the fragile rainbow stone, with a toxic side. Fluorite is often called the rainbow stone because of its dazzling variety of colors. It can appear purple, blue, green, yellow, or even colorless, sometimes all in one specimen. When polished, it reveals bands of vivid hues that look almost artificial, too perfect to be real. Under ultraviolet light, many fluorites glow with neon fluorescence, a phenomenon so striking that it gave birth to the very word fluorescence. For collectors, this mineral's ability to surprise makes it one of the most visually rewarding stones in the mineral world. On the market, fluorite is relatively affordable compared to precious gemstones. Small polished pieces may cost just a few dollars, while carved figurines and museum-quality crystals can reach hundreds to a few $1,000s. Rare colors, such as deep blue or multicolored rainbow fluorite, are particularly sought after. Despite its modest price, its aesthetic appeal makes it a favorite among beginner collectors and jewelry makers. But fluorite carries risks that most buyers never suspect. First, it is fragile. With a hardness of only 4 on the Mohs scale, it scratches and breaks easily. Jewelry made from fluorite can chip or shatter with a single accidental drop. Second, and more concerning, fluorite is calcium fluoride. When heated, cut with high-speed tools, or chemically treated, it can release toxic fluorine gas. Though unlikely in casual handling, the risk to miners, lapidary workers, or anyone grinding fluorite without proper protection is significant. Exposure to fluorine compounds can damage lungs and bones, making fluorite more than just fragile. It can be dangerous when mishandled. Why does fluorite earn its place among gemstones with hidden risks? Because it represents the paradox of accessibility. It is one of the most common and colorful minerals, found on every continent, yet its fragility and chemical hazards mean it demands respect. Unlike diamonds or sapphires, fluorite is not a gem for permanence. It is a beauty meant to be admired, not worn daily or treated carelessly. Archaeologists have traced fluorite back to ancient Rome, where it was carved into luxury cups called murrhine. These artifacts were prized for their swirling colors, but many shattered over time, their fragility outlasting their artistry. Modern collectors face the same problem. Fluorite dazzles in the display case, but can be lost in an instant. And here's a question for you. Would you collect a gemstone that glows like neon under UV light, knowing it could shatter or release toxins when worked? Share your thoughts in the comments. For many, the answer reveals how we balance beauty, rarity, and risk in the stones we choose to treasure. Ranked number 5, fluorite is the rainbow that breaks easily, the fragile beauty with a toxic side. Its brilliance is undeniable, but so are the risks that come with it. Top 4. Pyrite, fool's gold, that burns into acid. Pyrite is one of the most recognizable minerals in the world, often mistaken for gold. Its metallic luster and brassy yellow color sparkle in sunlight, earning it the nickname fool's gold. To an untrained eye, raw nuggets of pyrite look deceptively similar to gold ore. Its cubic crystals, sharp-edged and geometric, often form in clusters that appear almost too perfect to be natural. In museums and private collections, these golden cubes remain among the most photographed mineral specimens. Despite its dazzling appearance, pyrite's commercial value is modest. Small specimens sell for just a few dollars, while large, flawless cubes or sculptural formations can reach several $100s. Its abundance keeps prices low, yet its aesthetic appeal ensures demand among collectors, jewelers, and even spiritual markets that prize it as a symbol of abundance. But behind this glittering facade lies a hidden risk. Chemically, pyrite is iron sulfide, FeS2. When exposed to moisture and oxygen, it oxidizes. This reaction produces sulfuric acid, a highly corrosive substance, and iron oxides. In mining regions, the phenomenon known as acid mine drainage occurs when massive deposits of pyrite interact with water, contaminating streams and soils for decades. For collectors, the risk is smaller but real. Pyrite specimens can slowly degrade, producing acidic residues that damage storage cases or nearby minerals. Jewelry made from pyrite is also unstable, tarnishing quickly and sometimes leaving behind corrosive traces. Why is pyrite ranked among gemstones with hidden risks? Because its deception is twofold. It deceives the eye, appearing like gold yet lacking its permanence, and it deceives the collector, offering beauty while hiding chemical instability. Unlike gold, which is inert and eternal, pyrite can literally burn into acid when neglected. Archaeological finds reveal that pyrite was used in early fire-starting tools, where sparks were struck from its surface. Ancient civilizations valued it for ritual mirrors and amulets. But even then, its instability was known. Artifacts rarely survived intact without corrosion. In modern times, geologists treat pyrite as both a fascinating mineral and a warning of environmental hazard. And here's a question for you. If you held a stone that looked like pure gold but could turn into acid over time, would you still keep it in your collection? Or would you prefer the stability of true gold? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective helps keep this debate alive among collectors and enthusiasts. Ranked number 4, pyrite is the gemstone of illusions. It gleams like treasure, yet corrodes into acid. A reminder that not everything that shines is safe, or what it first appears to be. Top 3. Hackmanite, the disappearing color stone of mystery. Hackmanite is one of the strangest gemstones ever studied. At first glance, it looks unassuming. A pale lavender or greyish stone, soft in tone and lacking brilliance. But expose it to sunlight, and something remarkable happens. Its color deepens into a vivid violet or pink, only to fade back again when placed in darkness. This phenomenon, known as tenebrescence, makes Hackmanite a gemstone that seems to change mood depending on its environment. Few minerals exhibit this effect, and none with the same dramatic contrast. On the market, Hackmanite is rare, but not excessively expensive. Cabochons and polished beads range from $30 to $200, while larger transparent crystals from Afghanistan or Myanmar can reach over $1,000. Collectors prize it not for sparkle, but for its ability to transform. However, this very trait makes it unpredictable as an investment. Over time, repeated exposure to sunlight can weaken its color change effect. What begins as a vivid shifting gem may slowly lose the very property that made it valuable. This instability is why Hackmanite appears on the list of gemstones with hidden risks. Its disappearing color raises questions of permanence. Unlike a diamond or sapphire, which retain brilliance for centuries, Hackmanite is fragile, both physically, with a Mohs hardness of only 5.5 to 6, and optically, with a phenomenon that fades. Collectors who buy it expecting a permanent miracle sometimes find themselves disappointed when the effect diminishes. Culturally, Hackmanite has been tied to mystery and superstition. In parts of Scandinavia, it was believed to hold protective power, perhaps because of its ghostly transformation. In modern metaphysical circles, it is thought to connect light and shadow, reflecting duality. But beyond beliefs, scientists treat it as a case study in unstable electron traps, beautiful to witness, but inherently impermanent. For archaeologists, Hackmanite challenges how we define a gemstone. Should beauty that fades still count? Its story reveals how geology sometimes produces wonders designed not to last. Unlike rubies or emeralds, Hackmanite's appeal lies in transience, the very risk of losing what you admire. And here's a question for you. Would you buy a gemstone knowing that the very feature making it rare and beautiful could vanish over time? Share your thoughts in the comments. This isn't just about Hackmanite. It's about how we value impermanence in objects we expect to endure. Ranked number 3, Hackmanite is the disappearing colorstone, a mineral of mystery and risk. It dazzles, then fades, reminding us that not all gems are eternal. Some are beautiful precisely because they refuse to stay the same. Top 2. Tanzanite, the one mine gem facing collapse. Tanzanite is a gemstone that captures light like no other. Its pleochroic nature means it can display 3 colors depending on the angle: deep blue, violet, and flashes of burgundy. Under daylight, it often glows a rich sapphire blue. Under incandescent light, it leans toward royal purple. Cut into faceted gems, it rivals sapphire in brilliance, but carries a hue that feels warmer, more mysterious. Discovered only in 1967 near Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, Tanzanite is one of the youngest gemstones on the global market. It quickly rose to fame after Tiffany & Company introduced it to the world, branding it as a rare jewel found only in one place on Earth. Today, fine Tanzanite gems can range from $300 to $800 per carat, with exceptional stones exceeding $1,500 per carat. Large, clean, intensely blue specimens can reach values that rival rubies and emeralds at auction. But Tanzanite carries a hidden risk. Its entire global supply comes from a single region, Miralani Hills in northern Tanzania. Unlike diamonds, which are mined on multiple continents, or sapphires, which appear in several countries, Tanzanite has no alternative source. Experts warn that at current mining rates, primary deposits could be depleted within a few decades. Already, the Tanzanian government has tightened control, building walls around the mining area and restricting exports to combat smuggling. This dependency on one location makes Tanzanite volatile as both an investment and a cultural treasure. Political instability, market speculation, or even geological exhaustion could collapse its value overnight. Collectors who buy expecting a long-term rise may face sharp downturns if supply chains are disrupted or synthetic substitutes enter the market. Why is Tanzanite ranked among the top gemstones with hidden risks? Because it embodies fragility on both geological and economic levels. Its beauty is undeniable, but its future is uncertain. A sapphire will always be found somewhere. An emerald mine may shift countries. Tanzanite, however, has no second chance. Once Miralani Hills are exhausted, the gem may vanish from jewelry counters altogether. For archaeologists of the future, Tanzanite may be seen as a mineral of a brief golden age, treasured for half a century, then lost to scarcity. Its story is not just about geology, but about how global demand can consume a resource within a single human lifetime. And here's a question for you. Would you invest in a gem knowing it may become extinct within a generation, or avoid it for the very same reason? Share your view in the comments, because opinions on Tanzanite's future remain as divided as the colors it displays. Ranked number 2, Tanzanite is the one mine gem, radiant and rare, yet facing collapse. Its glow is a reminder that beauty can be fleeting, and sometimes the greatest risk of all is scarcity itself. Top 1. Blood diamonds, the stones that fund wars. At first sight, blood diamonds look no different from any other diamond. They can be colorless, sparkling brilliantly when cut, or tinted in shades of yellow, brown, or even rare fancy colors. Their shapes range from uncut octahedral crystals to polished brilliance designed for engagement rings. On the open market, such gems could command thousands of dollars per carat, with large stones reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what sets blood diamonds apart is not their appearance, it is their origin. The term blood diamond, also known as conflict diamond, refers to stones mined in war zones and sold to finance armed conflict, rebel movements, or oppressive regimes. In the 1990s, reports emerged from Sierra Leone, Angola, and the Democratic Republic of Congo that diamond profits were fueling brutal civil wars. Villages were destroyed, populations displaced, and countless lives lost, all funded by the sale of sparkling gems on international markets. Unlike Cinnabar or Malachite, whose risks are chemical, or Opal and Tanzanite, whose risks are geological, blood diamonds carry moral and political danger. A single polished gem could be linked to forced labor, child soldiers, or war crimes. Ownership becomes a question of ethics as much as beauty. This risk was so great that the international community launched the Kimberley Process Certification Scheme in 2003, designed to track and certify diamonds as conflict-free. Yet critics argue that loopholes remain, and smuggling continues to blur the lines between ethical and unethical stones. For investors and collectors, blood diamonds represent instability. A stone purchased without clear certification may later be devalued or even banned from trade. For archaeologists and historians, they serve as evidence of how natural resources can be weaponized, turning geology into a tool of violence. The brilliance of a blood diamond hides a darker truth, that beauty can be born from suffering. Why do blood diamonds take the #1 spot on this list of gemstones with hidden risks? Because no other gem so clearly demonstrates the power of stones to affect human lives, not through toxicity or fragility, but through politics and war. Their value is immense, but so is the cost in human terms. And here's a question for you. When you see a diamond sparkle in a ring or necklace, do you wonder where it came from? Should consumers demand absolute transparency, or is beauty enough to overlook the past? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this debate continues to shape the jewelry industry today. Ranked #1, blood diamonds are the stones that fund wars. They remind us that the greatest risks in gemstones are not always geological. They can be human, political, and moral, written into every facet of a stone that otherwise looks perfect. Thank you for staying with us through this journey into gemstones that dazzle with beauty but carry hidden risks. From minerals that poison the hands of those who cut them, to fragile stones that collapse under time, to diamonds tied to war and conflict, each gem reminded us that brilliance often comes with a cost. If you've been part of this channel for a while, we truly appreciate your continued support. And if today is your first time watching, consider subscribing and sharing this documentary. It's a simple step, but for us, it's the best gift. It helps keep these stories alive and brings more hidden histories to light. We'll be back soon with another episode, uncovering the untold truths behind the stones artifacts, and machines that shaped our world. Until then, take care, and we'll see you in the next chapter.